Okay, so a little bit of functionality to the kidney now. So really the point of the kidney is to get to those regions where you have microscopic blood tubes next to microscopic P tubes so that you can actually do exchange. Those places are, again, microscopic. They're primarily in the cortex, but some of them dip down into the medulla, and they are called nephrons. So, the nephron is basically going to have a vascular component, which is the blood part, and then a urinary or a tubular component, which is the P part. Okay, so the functional unit of the kidney is the nephron. This is where all the action happens. Nephrons are microscopic. There's more than 1 million of them per kidney. And so what they are basically going to do is, as the blood tubes go by the P tubes, you have opportunities for pushing things one way or the other, either into the urine or pulling it back from the urine into the blood, because sometimes you actually want to keep some things. And so the basics of urine formation really depend on 3 processes occurring. So I'm going to show you the processes, and the processes are going to be occurring at the kidney, and they are filtration. Filtration is pressure driven, and it moves fluid and solutes from high pressure to low pressure through open holes. So it pushes things out. The primary place that filtration occurs is the glomerulus. And remember, I told you that the glomerulus was higher pressure than most capillaries because the afferent arteriole leading in is bigger than the efferent arteriole leading out, which makes it really good at filtration. The next step is basically to pull things back into the bloodstream selectively so you don't end up peeing them back out or peeing them out. And that's called reabsorption. So you pushed it out and now you're going to pull it back in. And then the last step is to really go through the blood with a critical eye, not just filtering it based on pressure, but giving it a critical eye and dumping things back out, selecting the things that you want to move back from the bloodstream back into the urine. And then whatever ends up being in the urine after you've finished filtration, reabsorption, and secretion is going to end up getting excreted, which is excretion. So let me show you. So this is just like a really, really simplified drawing. So this is microscopic blood tubes and microscopic P tubes. Of course, they're way curvier than this, but what I want you to understand is the big picture. So the first step is filtration, and I want you to understand which direction things move via filtration. They are going to move from high pressure to low pressure, and so the blood is higher pressure, and it's going to move things this direction. What kinds of things are going to move? To oversimplify, whole bunch of water, and really any solute big enough or small enough to fit through the holes, okay? And so you will end up losing, for instance, nutrients that you didn't mean to lose, but you have a way of getting them back in the next step, okay? And then number 2, the next step is reabsorption. And reabsorption is really bringing stuff selectively back in. And so what are you going to select to bring back in? Well, considering that you filter out gallons and gallons of water per day, you need to hold on to most of it. And you will probably try to bring back in most of the nutrients. But I forgot to put this. You actually filtered out wastes, and there's no reason to bring that back. Back in. So you're going to bring back stuff that you needed, and you're selectively doing that with reabsorption. And then the third process is to really selectively look at the bloodstream and see if there's any trash that you didn't catch, and you are going to push it back out. So if you had any excesses that you didn't need, or any waste products that you didn't catch the first time when you were doing filtration, you can get rid of those. And then what of course happens is whatever is left ends up being peed out, and that is excretion. Okay, that gets peed out. And of course the blood came in from the renal artery, right? And then it's going to go back through the renal vein back into circulation. Cool. And so the blood is going to be cleaner. You're going to have kept most of the important stuff and got rid of a bunch of waste products. Okay, and the reason that you can, of course, do this is because you have blood tubes right next to pee tubes. So when you are looking at an individual nephron, the vascular component of the nephron is everything from the afferent arteriole all the way back until you go into the interlobular vein. Okay, it's the microcirculation of the kidney that we already went through. And the tubular component, or the renal tubule, is going to be all of these microscopic pee tubes, which I haven't described to you yet, but I'm about to. So let's